Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, looking at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hello and welcome back. I'm your hostess, Christen, and I'm here with my co-hosts Cindy and Amber.
Hello.
If this is your first time joining us, we're glad to have you here, and if you're returning, then welcome back. So this week, we are talking about a challenge that I'm challenging everyone with, and the idea of like the benefits of it, and just, wanted to just kind of get y'all's thoughts on it. There's several little books out there about it, and there's a lot of blog opinions on doing this activity. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss it is because it's the beginning of the year. And, well, I mean, it's the first quarter of the year. It's the first quarter. It's the beginning of the year. So, you might already have some goals that you're currently working on. And sometimes this part of the beginning of the year is where we kind of start to fall off the wagon on some of our goals, and we struggle a little bit. And sometimes we just don't even know where to start. Last year, I literally, or maybe it was the year before, I had a couple of goals. Maybe this is all the time that I set at the beginning of the year, and I don't even actually get started on them sometimes until like the second quarter of the year. So, the idea is that I am challenging you to make your bed every day for a month. So you can start now, or you can start, in March or whenever. But that was the idea, is that you wake up every morning, and part of your daily routine, whatever that may be, is to go in and make your bed before you transition into the next phase of your day. And the idea is that when you do that small, simple task of completing, the sleeping portion of your day, making your bed, it makes your room look nice, and you're actually doing a task. So it gets your day started versus, especially a lot of us who work from home, you just kind of like mosey on out of bed and get your coffee and then mosey onto your desk still in your pajamas kind of lifestyle. So it's a good way to, get that accomplishment of the day and check it off. And so I wanted to know what y'all's thoughts were on that activity, if you think it's a value, and just, all the discussion around that.
Well, why don't you start out? Do you know the source of this recommendation?
Well, I do know that there's like a book out there about making your bed every day. I forget the author.
It was a Navy SEAL. His name is his last name is McRaven, and I am not sure William H. McRaven or McRaven. I'm not sure if it's McRaven or McRaven. And he actually gave a speech at the University of Texas at Austin commencement ceremony in 2014. And this was part of his speech that he made about how it gives you encouragement and stuff. And I will link that heard it on the podcast over on the website at www.modernmusings.net. But that is one of the sources of this. It's kind of trickled around and gone around the internet a lot. And a lot of people believe that getting up and making your bed every day starts you off on a good note. You have accomplished something immediately with your day. And that's why he says you should make your bed every day, because you're starting out with a win, and that starting out with that win motivates you to accomplish more things throughout the day. So, I also like the idea of it because, we talk a lot about people who work from home and stuff, and how we're, kind of lazy in our pajamas and whatever. But, one of the tips that people often give to people who work from home is to get up and get dressed as though it's a normal day. Because when you present yourself in that professional manner, even from your home when nobody can see you, it changes your attitude. It changes the way you do your work. And, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not a psychologist, but a lot of psychology people say that is the case. So I'm going to go with that. I think that's true to a certain extent, that you feel and act more professional when you are dressed and appear more professional.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I just to maybe like alter the phrase of more professional, not, you don't mean like you have a stick up your butt.
No,
but
not
yeah,
at all,
I know, but you actually might try a little harder at work,
right.
or be a little bit more active or more awake or alert.
Yes.
I feel like whenever I actually get up and like do my hair and my makeup, because I do a lot of like video calls and stuff with my team, so they see me, so I can't show up in my robe with my hair undone. I have to like actually style my hair and stuff. So I feel like whenever I do actually like do my hair and put my face on and stuff, I actually a little bit perkier in my personality. So
well, yeah, just doing like I know when I used to work from home, oftentimes I would just roll out of bed and barely brush my hair and get on a Zoom meeting. But I found that it made the day better when I got up, took a shower, made my bed, put my makeup on, and then put like clean clothes on, and then got on my Zoom meeting. It made all of the difference in the world. And, the whole make your bed challenge thing reminds me of my mom, because my mom was a stickler, even if she was just going to the other side of the house, of making her bed every morning, because she used to tell me nothing felt better than pulling back the sheets into a nice, neat bed at night.
And McRaven talks about that too, like making your bed. In his speech, he talks about making your bed and going off to work that day, because obviously this is pre-pandemic when people are working from home. So, and he says coming home to that made bed is just more welcoming because, you're coming home to a nicely appointed
clean bed.
Yeah.
Nice clean bed. And definitely, like, since I have so many pets, if I leave my bed unmade, they're all gonna sleep right in my spot.
They find the little nooks and crannies.
Yeah,
in the blanket. Yeah,
and they're all gonna sleep right in my spot. And if I come home and then lay in bed in my spot, then I'm going to be laying in a ton of cat hair because they've been wallowing around in my spot all day.
Yeah. It's amazing how just the physical, or not like the appearance of your bed being made. You may have like the most like mismatched furniture, or you might have a mattress on the floor, and
a lot of people do sleep that
I
way.
know. Yeah. I mean,
you always notice when you go to somebody's house.
I just got my first bed frame as an adult, only like a year ago. So, I had
my
the
mattress
rails.
is on the floor.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want my pets under the bed.
But like your room looks so much nicer when it's made, when your bed is made. And that's what I was saying. Like, it doesn't matter like how your room looks. How messy it is, even like if you have a really cluttered room, when you make the bed, it just makes the room look that much nicer.
Right.
It really does. It's a world of difference.
Yeah. You made me think of like when you leave home and come back home, that nice appeal. Travis and I talk about, like when we go on a trip or something, like the biggest thing for me is when I come home, I want the house to look nice.
Clean. You don't want to come home to a dirty house.
Yes. And I think because, you go and you stay in a hotel And, you know, I live in a very cluttered home. Ain't gonna lie. It's a mess, right? We got a lot of stuff. And there's 3 of us all with like 15 different hobbies and stuff. So we got things everywhere. And we're the type that just doesn't put things away when we're done. Not gonna lie. So, you know,
She's
we
not
have
lying.
stuff, you know. And so whenever you go to a hotel and it's real sparse and there's not like, you know, wall-to-wall furniture and, you know, posters and stuff hanging on the wall. It's nice on the eyes. It's easy on the eyes. And then you come home and it's like, oh my God, this place is a dump, you know? So I always want to come home to like a real nice, clean house. I like the idea of coming home from a trip and there's the only dirty laundry is what you brought back from your trip, you know? The beds are made. I like that.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, less stress to worry about when you come home. The only thing you have to do is unpack your bags and relax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. And, you know, it's really sad because I used to be a make my bed every day kind of person. I really was. When I was a teenager, I never made my bed. My parents didn't care. They didn't make their beds. I had bunk beds with my sister. And so, you know, it was like, what's the point of making it? You can't even reach it, you know? So it was never made. But when I grew up and moved into my own house, I just liked the look of a made bed. And so for years and years, probably for 30 or more years, I made my bed every day. And then I don't even know what happened. It's just, there came this point where I was, you know, I didn't make my bed one day. And then I didn't make my bed the next day. And I didn't make my bed the next day. And then, you know, I looked in there the other day and I haven't made my bed in I do when, like, if we have company coming or whatever, you know, I'll make the bed so it looks nice. But there was a while back I went in there and the bed had been unmade so long. The comforter that goes on top was folded up on my, I have a hope chest that has family mementos and things in it. And it was all folded up on there with the big pillow shams, you know, that go across. We're sitting on top of it. And it was just covered in dust. It had been that long since it got moved, you know. And I was like, this is gross.
When it's funny because you don't sleep with that blanket. It's just decorative.
No, it's just
you
decorative.
Take it off
Yes.
of the bed every day. And
I take it off.
literally hate that. Like,
oh, no, see, because it's easy. I just fold it down and fold it over a couple of times. And it's just like this nice little roll and it lays right there on that. And it's gone out of the way and it doesn't get dirty except, you know, I just have to take it to the cleaners once in a blue moon, you know, to get the dust bunnies out of it, you know.
It's a bed cover.
It is a bed cover. And then we have other blankets, you know, that we sleep under. But yeah, it's just so weird that I went from that and I don't know, I couldn't even tell you when that happened. Was it pre-COVID? Was it post-COVID? You know, was it when my mother moved in with us and I just got too busy? Was it when I got breast cancer and I just didn't feel like it? I honestly could not tell you when the last time I regularly made my bed. And I would get up every morning. I used to make my bed immediately. As soon as I got out of the bed, I made the bed. And then a friend told me, no, you're supposed to leave it open for a little bit to air the sheets because, you know, you have body oils and sweat and things like that in the night and you want to air that out. And, you know, if you just close it up, then those body odors stay on the bed. So leave it open for, you know, 30 minutes or so just to let it air out.
Dry out, yeah.
And then you come back into it. So I would get up and I would come in and eat my breakfast and then I would go get dressed and make the bed. I did it all at the same time. It was part of my morning routine, which we've talked about before also. And I kept that same morning routine for, you know, years and years and years. But I just, at some point and it, you know, it may be when I was diagnosed with diabetes because my doctor insisted that I have breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up. And so I had to I got up and came in here to eat. And then I did all the other things with my pills and then all this time went by and I was just like, I don't want to go make that bed. So I don't know. Maybe that was it. I'm not sure.
You know, I was on the anti-bed making because I liked my nest I liked.
A lot of people do that.
I
They
don't
roll
like
up in
my
the...
pillows to be moved.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I like my pillows to be in the exact same spot. Like I have this weird like Tetris thing going on with my pillows because I like one under my arm and I sleep on my side. My husband probably hates it because I got like 15 pillows and I'm like, do not touch my pillows. And he'll go and make the bed and like my pillow will get like rearranged. I'm like, you moved my pillow. I mean, it doesn't really like make a big difference, but I don't know. I guess because I used to have a day bed for the longest time and I just flip the blanket over and I would curl up in my little cocoon. And whenever I finally got, like a queen size bed as an adult, I invested in like a comforter that I liked. And then it was like, I'm going to make my bed, and then I got over that, pillow thing a little bit, and it was like, okay, that my pillows got fluffed and moved around.
Right.
Because then I was like, I'm going to change my sheets all the time. And then I started collecting like various different sheet colors and, and I kind of like had fun like changing the colors of my comforter every so often. And so I was really invested in making my bed. But mostly it was like, I would make it like here and there and everywhere, just random times. But then whenever I got married, Travis is a bed maker. And so, and it's weird because, he gets up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And so
You're still in bed.
I'm still in bed. So then I felt bad when I would, be in there working and my husband would come in after work and make the bed. I was like, maybe I should make the bed because I was the one that left it, unmade. So I have started making the bed more recently, and I hadn't really realized it until I was thinking about the challenge, that I was like, do I really need to challenge myself? Because I kind of do, but I don't always do it. So that's what made me think like this would be a good opportunity to try the challenge, to start a new habit, to really actually like solidify it, because I feel like I'm on the verge of like a change in behavior because I consciously am making the bed a little bit more often, but I still forget sometimes. So, and I leave the blankets all like twisted up on the bed. I wreck the bed. Like all the sheets come undone from the foot of the bed. Amber, you were talking about getting into bed at night and the sheets are all nice and tight.
That's me. I like the sheets exactly.
That is not
flat.
me. I like them tucked underneath.
Yeah. See, I don't want to lay on the sheet on the blankets or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, I like to twist my ankles up in the end of it.
And I think that comes from your dad because he used to tuck you into bed that way at night.
Yeah. And I've literally like proposed, why don't we have 2 separate blankets just so I can do my cocoon thing, and then I can just fold my blanket up.
Jason and I sleep. Well, really depends on where we sleep. Like at his house, I always bring like an extra blanket to like wrap up in under the blanket, and then he just sleeps like on top of everything. And then at my house, like we do 2 separate blankets because I also like to cocoon.
Mark and I have 2 separate blankets, but that's because one of us gets more hot than the other, in the night. And so, so we just have, I have a sheet, a thin cotton blanket, like a hospital blanket, and then another sheet on top of that. And that holds, the layers help hold body heat in. And then we each have like a lap rug or a smaller little thing, most of the year round, that we can pull on or off as needed, because we're different temperatures at different times, and in the winter I'll put like a thicker comforter on or whatever, but I like having those 2 different things. But I totally sleep, if the bed is made and I get in, I fold the cover back, I get in, I fold the cover back over me, and the other side of the bed never moves. The pillows, I do have to fluff the pillows every time I get in because I like them all in a big stack. Because I kind of sleep a little bit elevated, and so I have to restack them because as I sleep, they kind of work their way down. But yeah, I like the sheets and everything like all nice and flat. I don't want anything tucked up under me. Mark often rolls over onto the sheet, and then I'm having to like tug it out from under him and stuff, So, yeah, that drives me crazy. So it's like, why can't you just leave the sheet over the top of you?
No,
the sheet,
it doesn't
roll over.
happen. Not when you're sharing a bed with somebody.
No, lift the sheet and roll over.
And someone has to make the bed, so
Yes.
I guess it's me.
Well, I think I really do. I was kind of glad you decided to do this challenge because I feel like I need to get back into that habit because those morning routines where they're they just kind of kick off your day, and I think getting into
really
that
do.
habit will help me get into the habit of getting dressed again. And, even if I start go back to the process of getting up and coming in here and having my breakfast and then going back, brushing my teeth, getting dressed, and making the bed all at the same time, I think that's a good way to kick off my day and set aside that time of my day for work as opposed to just lounging. That hopefully that will kick that into
Yeah,
gear.
I
Get you
feel
more
like
in the mood.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
yes.
tells your body, okay, this is work
This
time.
is work now.
Mhm.
And so I'm dressed. I am, even if I don't put on makeup, that's not necessary to me, but getting dressed, I'm no longer in my pajamas. I am no longer lounging or just surfing the internet or whatever. I'm actually working. This is my work day starting.
Well,
Mhm.
even on my days off, I always feel better when I get up and get dressed
Oh, yeah,
and make the
yeah.
bed and stuff like that. Even if I'm doing stuff around the house, not just
Right.
wearing yesterday's underwear
Well,
or something.
I feel like this whole thing of wearing our pajamas all day long is very detrimental to our mental health because we're still living in that that COVID mindset of we're just isolated and at home, and there's a lot of people that are still suffering from a lot of anxiety over all the COVID stuff, and I really think that getting up, showering, making your bed, getting dressed, those kind of things go a long way towards putting you back into that normal mindset instead of normalizing something that
Yeah.
is very abnormal.
Well, that's why I like to get up on Saturdays and go to the farmer's market in the
Mhm.
morning because it makes me get up at a certain time and get dressed at a certain time. Even if I just go for like 30 minutes and then come back, at least I'm up and dressed and I'm not in my pajamas all day.
Right. And they talk about that too with people sticking with your routine. Don't stay up later or sleep in more on the weekend. Stick to your weekday routine is
it's
better for your
hard.
sleep habits. It is hard. I want to sleep in. I do, but it really is a lot better to stick to that routine. Go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time every day, and be consistent about your sleep. Get enough sleep, but also be consistent about it, and keeping those routines.
My problem
it really does help.
is that when I was working at home during COVID, I got into this routine of where I stayed up until 12 or 1 and then rolled out of bed and went to work.
Because you didn't have to commute.
Because I didn't have to
Yeah.
commute, and I'm still in that routine 2 years later. I'm still like staying up 12 or 1 and then having to get up and commute to work.
commute
Yeah.
now. And it's really hard to break out of those routines.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it really, there's a lot of us that are doing this. Christen works from home too, and she gets up, she rolls out of bed, and she goes to work. And
I literally have the hair today. Like,
yeah,
I did that today. I
Right.
was like, you know what? I'm not doing my hair today.
well, I do it a lot too because, I've worked from home for many years, even before COVID, and it, my schedule tends to get later and later and later. I'm very much a night owl, and so I will stay up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then crash out really hard, and not get up until noon. And the more I give into that pattern, the later it gets. So, it started out that I was going to bed at 1, then I was going to bed at 2, then I was going to bed at 3. And, and there's been times when I was still still awake when my husband's getting up to go to work. So, and it's really hard to break because I'll get back on a schedule for a few days, and then just one late night will throw it right back to where I was.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, my mentality is on the weekend is if I stay in bed past like 10 a.m. in the morning, I'm not going to get dressed for that day. Like I'm just going to stay in bed.
And I live
for
in
the
my
rest
pajamas
of the day
all day long.
It doesn't motivate me if I don't get up like 8 a.m., 7 a.m. and get dressed on the weekend, then I'm just going to be in the pajamas all day.
Yeah, I will do the same. And sometimes then it's like at 10 o'clock at night, I have to go run an errand real quick to the Walgreens or whatever. And it's like, oh, I got to put clothes on. It's like I'm putting clothes on for in the evening at 10 o'clock at night, so it's.
I've done that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really think that the getting up and making the bed part will be a good game changer there, because if I go back to that, it'll make me, because I'm going to add putting clothes on to it.
Right.
Maybe,
And here's a thought too, like some people might struggle with this, who are early risers, maybe not necessarily like people who stay up really late, but kind of like you're talking about, Amber, where you might just stay in the bed. If you get up and make the bed, when you wake up, you're not going to get back in it, because you're going to be like, no, I just made the bed.
Yeah.
So you might, even if you did lay down on the bed, you're not going to like take a deep slumber. You might just close your eyes for a few minutes.
And I've done that too, where I've been, like midday and I'm like, I'm tired, I'm going to take a nap. I get in bed and put my CPAP on and the whole 9 yards, and I'll take the other day I forgot to set my alarm. Well, actually I did set my alarm, but I didn't realize, I always use my phone as my alarm. And I set it for 45 minutes, but what I didn't realize was that the hour was set on 2 because I take my blood sugar 2 hours after I eat, so it was just automatically on that. So I slept for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So not a good thing, because then I was really up late.
Then you couldn't go back to sleep.
I couldn't go back to sleep that night.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking about taking the challenge, and are you going to start like in March, or are you going to start this week? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a Monday thing, like where you start on the first day of the week, or?
I'm not. I will do it. I don't know when I will start it, and I will do it for 30 days or the month or whatever. So, I probably won't start it in February, because it's the month's almost over. But so I'll probably start it in March, I'm thinking.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I feel like I want to start it on a month where I can just track it on a calendar or something.
Yes, that makes it a lot easier. I'll put a tracker in my Bujo or something.
See,
like that.
My thing is that I do make my bed every day, but maybe I want to, like, I guess go to a step further in, not just like throw it over, but just like neatly make my bed every day.
Yeah. Yes.
Like put the throw pillows on it and set up the pillow shams and the whole 9 yards.
Set up the whole
actually fluff the pillows
yards,
the way they're supposed to look. Yeah, that's my intention, is to actually like, for some reason my pillows always get twisted in the pillowcase like every night. So I want to actually like put my pillow back in the pillowcase proper and stack them up like they're supposed to, instead of have them like hanging off the bed and their weird little L-shaped thing that I get in my little fortress. So I'm gonna fix my bed and actually like make it. And
so we should, since this is a challenge, we should take pictures of our made beds and put them on the Facebook chat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think
so. It's like a check-in,
Yeah, let's see.
What's your bed look like? Check-in.
So that would be a good thing for you guys,
we should
too.
hashtag it. So MMC...
Make your bed challenge.
Make your bed challenge. MMC... Hashtag MMC make...
Well, so then let's all pick a date to start this if we're going to
March the 1st.
March the 1st. Okay, sounds good.
And all you listeners, get post yours out there, hashtag it. Post, you can post it on Instagram and hashtag us, but you can also post it on the MMC chat Facebook group that is open, and you can add your own chats on there. That's a great place. It's a nice, safe place, I think, for us to chat, have conversations about that. And,
yeah, definitely. So let's do it.
All right. I'm ready.
So
All right.
what do we have going on next week?
Next week, we are talking about peanut butter. And peanut butter is one of my things.
Peanut butter is life.
It's a funny thing because I'm calling it For the Love of Peanut Butter. And but peanut butter is one of those things you either love it or you hate it. I don't know anybody who is, it's okay. I don't know anybody who just can take it or leave it. I only know people who love it and people who hate it. So we're talking, I think all of us are lovers, but
yes.
But if there's any of you peanut butter haters out there, give us a
chance. Listen to the podcast.
Listen to
give
the
us a
podcast,
chance.
and then we want to hear from you afterwards. What your take on why do you hate peanut butter so bad? No.
Well, there are people that are allergic to peanut butter.
Well, there
so
is
that
that
might be
too.
the reason that they hate peanut butter.
That is true. So we're going to talk peanut butter. I don't know. I have no idea where that's going to go. I just love peanut butter. And so that's what we're going with. All right.
All right.
Cool. Looking forward to that.
Okay.
And we do want to give special thanks to Red Door Studios.
Yes.
Creative Audio Tech for our music and our recording equipment. And we'd also like to thank our loyal listeners. Of course, thank you guys again and again and again for coming back.
Yes.
Over and over and over again. So far, season 3 is going good. And we do, though, however, appreciate and encourage you to like and share.
Yes.
Like and share.
Yes,
And,
yes. Like,
subscribe,
share.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, share. Yes.
So definitely do that. If there's anybody out there that you think might benefit, definitely share. We have something different that we talk about every week. And so we hope that there's something that maybe one of your friends
there's something
might
out
like.
there for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
So share. That way we have lots of listeners so we can just keep going. And we also would appreciate anyone who's interested to definitely hit us up on MMC Chat on Facebook.
Yes.
And then, of course, our blogs. If you are not checking out the blog, you're only listening to the podcast, then you're only getting part of the story. So definitely check out the blogs. We got lots of correlating and sometimes not related blog posts that expand on our story and our own personal experiences and what we bring to the conversation. Sometimes it's just things that we can't talk about on the podcast because it's something we want to visually share with you.
Right.
So definitely check those out.
And we all have differing points of view. That's the maiden, mother, and crone because we're all in different stages of our life. So that's another reason for the blog is so that you can see those different perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we will pick up with our love of peanut butter next week. And I think that's it for this week.
That's it for this week.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.